Hello. So it's been a while. Kind of awkward.
We're
I think it's
back.
been a year? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? We briefly turned into an A and B channel, and those probably aren't going anywhere because, well, my job is basically starting up again. But we're back for Bleach Volume 7,
We're
which is a
doing
crazy thing to think that we're back, and we kind of left it on one of like the best arcs. They started one of the best arcs, which I think is hilarious.
we
Personally, it seems very apropos of us.
yeah,
But
we're technically still pre Soul Society, but like we're in the lead up to the Soul Society and we like the yeah, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves, but I thought this volume was like a banger.
it was kind of fire. I mean, for like coming back to it. I mean, I forgot how based some of the characters were, and how like well written Bleach is, and how I actually enjoyed reading that volume compared to other trashy manga I've read in our absence. But as always, I'm your favorite lad, Connor, joined by, if you're weird, your favorite lad, Lucas.
The workhorse
Um,
lad, the thinking man's lad, Lucas.
I mean, thinking man's lad is certainly one way to address yourself.
I think it's a good way.
Um, I'm just the relatable lad, just your ADHD boy, soft, fluffy hair,
The e-boy
him.
lad.
I mean, yeah, basically. So let's dive right into the news. Is that even a reference that people will get, or will that get us canceled for referencing?
No, Keemstar's woke now. It's cool.
Oh, he's woke now. Was that after, before? You know what? We're not gonna get into something
let's
that could get us.
let's focus on Bleach. Focus on Bleach. Okay, so chapter 53 to chapter 61 is what we read. Definitely
Yeah.
not 5 minutes before we started this review.
No, I read
Um,
it weeks ago. I don't know
I
what you're talking about.
I
I am ready.
Fun fact: the Viz Media app does not function in France, where I am currently. Um, that we have an equivalent called Manga Plus, but it does not have access to like the middle 500 chapters of Bleach. So I'm using a fan translation. So apologies for any issues there.
Which is always really funny to use a fan translation, because that's how I read Black Clover, and that's how I read Blue Lock, and it's how I read Iwasi, because they're always great. Fan translations are always funny. I mean, but the people who do it, shout out to them. They work really hard. They're not
No,
getting
like
paid to do it,
the work of
but they're dogs.
scandalating is insane. It's just so funny when it's like I clearly know this man is called like a captain in the English release, but it's not translating it and it's just writing it as like Heicho Sama in it, and I'm like gosh.
Ah, shit. Fuck. I just want to take a moment before we really dive into the meat and potatoes. Shout out the guy, the pig, loyal viewer. Um, kind of funny, pretty funny in his comments. We support him. He's he's basically, if we ever get a Patreon when we get big and famous, we'll give him a free Patreon subscription. That's my promise to him.
Yeah, I'm down.
So, I
Yes,
mean,
but
pig,
he
lots of
is he
FTMs.
it was his message that inspired us to finally pick this series back up. So thank you for that.
I did laugh at that and think, oh, we should do it just so we can continue the content, and pretty funny. I mean, to be fair, we got busy,
Yeah,
being adults, graduating, and doing jobs.
yeah.
So enough of that. We'll do a catch up. We'll do a catch up just
Yeah.
how long.
Let's get to the real meat and potatoes, by which I mean the
Of
real
why we're
swords and
here.
skeletons.
So we
Um,
left it literally right in the middle of Ichigo going to confront people, which
yeah, for some reason I had thought we had ended the last video on Ichigo getting his ass beat, but that doesn't happen for like two chapters.
you know what? I'm positive I read at least see Ichigo getting his ass beat after we dropped Volume 6. So I think somewhere in the ether might be a Volume 7 review. or
Oh,
at
really?
least the
Oh, well,
intention.
that's unfortunate. Anyways, let's stop being meta. Let's just review this chapter. So, chapter 53. Yeah, we get Uryu, everyone's favorite glasses guy, showing up and just getting
Getting curb stomped.
embarrassed by these two Chad Soul Reapers. Um, we get a nice little exchange between Cone and Ichigo.
Cone got stuck behind a body.
little,
Cone is so based.
little stinky boy.
Little stinky bugger.
I
Um,
I love the reoccurring gag that Rukia like loves cute things and likes to draw cute things, but she's really, really bad at art. So like she rates this Tanuki code and then draws a Tanuki, but it's like just a horrifying little monster.
Tanuki. That's a great cut. Yeah. And then it's just an abomination of a riddle. Remove all the toss. And
Oh,
I
see
mean,
that's
not too much happened.
so wait, that is a difference in our translations because in the my translator's note says in the original, um, all of her messages are written in between the characters for ta, nu, and ki in the note.
Yeah, in the English translation, they're just all between the toss.
I see. I see.
I don't know, whatever. Come and Ichigo go full on Sherlock and decipher the riddle, and Ichigo's like, I gotta go save her.
Yeah.
But like in the least edgy main character way,
Yeah.
you know.
Ichigo's like he's like too earnest to be edgy, and he's like he. I don't know. I love him. He doesn't take himself too seriously. You know, like he freaks out a lot. He's not like the cool epic non-reaction guy.
Deku would have cried. Naruto would have been like, you best believe I'll save her. Yeah. Believe it.
Naruto Naruto would have been like, I only save men.
I only saved my boy crush.
Uh, but
Anyway,
more
Rukia is not in a
importantly,
great
that
spot.
these guys are like, we gotta do it, we gotta save her, and then they realize Ichigo doesn't know how to become a Soul Reaper without Rukia.
It seems like an important thing he would remember.
Well, yeah, it's because they're like a duo. Like up to this point, they've been fighting the Hollows together, so Ichigo like can't function without her. Basically, thankfully, best character in the whole series, Kakashi but cooler. The man
Kakashi
himself
with the drippy hat.
with the drip. Oh, the hat.
That's gonna upset somebody.
Okay, I love Kakashi, but like, look at Kisuke Urahara. He's so cool. He's got his
I mean,
his weird like
I love
cane
the hat.
thing. Ah, the clogs, the cloak. I love him. Anyways, Kisuke Urahara shows up. We cut back to Uryu dying. And then we cut to Ichigo showing up at the fight, and just God, I love Kubo's art so much. Look at that panel of Ichigo showing up to the fight. He's just got the cocky expression, the giant sword, like it's so good.
Yeah, they get fucking riggedy wrecked.
Yeah, no, he doesn't he doesn't do great.
Gon goes through like a crisis being like when he gets put into Ichigo's body again. He's like,
Yeah,
what's going on?
he's looking at his own like his normal stuffed animal body and like having a big think.
I mean, if I were a stuffed animal and I got put into a human body, I'd be like, I would definitely have some existential crisis too.
Be a little funky, be a little funky. Um, I lo- I can't gush about the art enough. This whole fight looks so cool and so good.
And it's like easy to follow. I know like it might just be because I'm small brain, but like in some like modern shonen, it's so fucking hard to follow what's going on in the fight. You know?
Oh yeah, well
I feel like
there's
like
a
try reading Black Clover sometime. Maybe I'm just fucking small brain.
it's like
But
it's a
using
real
magic
thing.
translates a lot better to a show than it does fucking manga.
Well, it's like I don't know if you've ever seen that. I think it's in Super Eye Patch Wolf's like Dragon Ball video, but he talks about how how a page is laid out like tells your eyes how to follow it, and that like makes you feel the action if it's good, or makes you not feel it if it's bad.
I guess yeah, it does give like a weird disconnect if it's hard to follow immediately with your
Yeah,
wrinkly brain.
and this is like laid out really well, and the art's really clean and stuff, so it's just so good. But yeah, Ichigo's getting his ass beat. There's this
I mean, he
great.
only got stabbed a little bit stabbing.
My favorite part is when Renji's like, "Hey, what's the name of your sword?" And Ichigo's like, "You losers name your swords." And then Renji's like, "This dumbass doesn't even know the name of his sword." And then he like his I don't know if you like got this when the as the chapter went on, Connor, but this is basically maybe not Super Saiyan, but he basically did the equivalent of his sword going Kaioken. Like this is a new form unlocked for because
I'm so much stronger now. And then one dude just grabs him, rakes his sword. He
it's
got
like
humbled real quick.
yeah, he got like the whip sword thing. I Renji is like I said this when we were reading it, but Renji is just like peak mid 2000s character design. He's got like the face tattoos and like the cool ski goggles and the big chain whip sword. Like it's so
He
good.
definitely listens to Fallout Boy and, you know,
My Chemical
5 Seconds
Romance.
of Summer. Just, oh, yeah, My Chemical Romance.
Oh my god, so good.
Murder Clown Posse. Just super, like, what you'd expect.
I love him. I love him. So yeah, he like basically removes Ichigo's collarbone. Um,
Yeah, I mean, do you really need your collarbone to live?
not
Quick
technically.
Google search. Do you need your collarbone to live?
That took a while.
Typing hard. You could have, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you do, or yeah, you could survive
Yeah,
without it.
I don't know.
God damn
You can
it.
get like the outer edges removed, and it's to help with like arthritis and stuff. But there's no clear answer.
You want to go back to reviewing this Bleach chapter?
I mean, people have waited 7 months for it at this point.
They can wait a little longer so they get all the
They're fine with
collarbone
me
more.
having ADHD. Yeah, I mean, his name Byakuya is the guy's name. Like, probably completely butchered that.
Renji's the sunglasses sword guy. Byakuya is the other guy who's just
Byakuya's the dude who
to,
just
to,
really
to quote
finished.
to quote Patrick, Byakuya is the guy who's just standing there menacingly.
You gotta throw in that clip.
I'm
Um,
not going to.
you have to.
Okay, but then Ichigo gets like a good shot off. He gets like this weird second wind, and then like he does get like a couple good hits in on Renji, and Renji's like bleeding. He's super pissed.
We got a
Um,
little bit ahead of ourselves, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't gotta say every. Did you have like notes on stuff that happened before that?
No, we just talked about Byakuya stuff before we talked about Ichigo actually starting to fuck up Renji.
Oh yeah. Well. I mean, Byakuya is there, so like we can mention him. But yeah, Ichigo like does some damage. Then Byakuya steps up and because Ichigo just like the majority of his sword just like disappears, and then he sees Byakuya just like holding the rest of his broken sword like 20 feet away.
And then from there, things don't go well for Ichigo.
He gets some internal and external bleeding going on. It,
Internal bleeding, from my understanding, not good.
yeah. When
Like the
the
blood's supposed to be there, but
and we at this point have no idea like how Byakuya did this, right? Like we don't see him draw his sword or anything.
I'm too small a brain to get it.
Well, and actually, because yeah, at the beginning of chapter 56, Ichigo's like thinking he's not even sure how or where he got attacked, and then like you get Byakuya saying like you're slow even when you're falling down. Like that's so good.
And
So
then
like
Ichigo gets a good line off after they're like, "Oh, he's dead," or whatever it is, and then Ichigo's like, "You better not keep telling the story when I'm not around."
God,
Comparing him to like him looking like somebody that Rukia knew.
yeah, yeah, and we won't learn more about that for a while, but like that's interesting to
Oh,
know
there's
that
like
like Rukia has like a possible reason to be like endeared to Ichigo. And then Rukia does the whole good prisoner like, okay, I'll do whatever you want, just like leave him alone to die, even though I'm pretty sure she knew he was gonna like survive this, and she's just trying to like protect him.
she's got a soft side for Ichigo.
She lived in that boy's closet for
Know
like a
your
month.
place, boy. That's a
Oh,
Rukia line.
I love both of them. They're so good. But like, I think it's cool that they introduced like Renji and Byakuya because it's like it's very much a Vegeta Nappa situation where like you have the louder, bigger one, and then the like
Definitely more powerful, quiet one.
yeah, and that's always fun. And I'd say this is like I mean this is comparable to the Saiyan saga in Dragon Ball Z. It's like okay, stuff's getting very serious all of a sudden.
It's like the first real fight, I guess.
Yeah, well, let's not shit talk Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is I'm a Dragon Ball truther. Dragon Ball is
Well,
very good.
the Saiyan saga, I think, definitely. I mean, if we're comparing it here, it kind of does work as a what is the part? You were an English major. Simile, not simile. Whatever. You see, like you can compare the two in the sense that like
Yeah,
Ichigo and Goku had both fought, maybe difficult, not super difficult opponents leading up to this, but this was their first time seeing someone more powerful and that like knowing there's greater threats
yeah,
than
it's
that
like
are
an
internal on
escalating
Earth.
stakes.
Yeah, it's like I think the comparing them to Vegeta and Nappa is really good because it does give you that like power scaling almost. I'd say
Yeah, and
like
it
something
just
is coming and like opponents are only gonna get harder, and so now you have to like get your shit in order and train
and Ichigo just
because
feels like small at this point. Um, and I just want to take a moment to talk about like one of my favorite panels in probably all of Bleach, but definitely easily my favorite in this volume. But I told you about it, Conrad. It's in chapter 57, and it's where Kisuke's standing over Ichigo and holding the umbrella over
the
his
cane,
like
yeah.
bloody
Oh, the
body,
umbrella,
and then yeah, the umbrella,
the
and then
rain
you
has
just get
stopped.
the line, yeah, it feels like the rain stopped. Like that's Bleach is so good. That's beautiful.
And then anyway, Ichigo gets saved, and he's like, "You're not good, home dog." Uryu winds up being okay. It would have taken 2 days to bleed out. He just bled a lot at first,
It's
which I
fine.
don't know if that's how that would work with traumatic injury. But I was a business major, so I don't know anything about traumatic injuries.
Well, we also got
But
to remember that wait, you talking about Uryu or Ichigo right now?
Uryu,
Well, Uryu is a Quincy, which is technically a separate race from humans, so we don't know how their blood works.
He just completed a lot of me fine. He would have taken 2 days to lose all of it. He's
You ever
fine.
you ever think about how since all the other Quincy's are dead, Uryu's kind of like a dodo bird.
Do Clancy's work where if like he has a child with a not like a regular person, that child will be stronger than him
It's a
because
good
normal.
question. I don't know
That
if
is
it's Saiyan rules or
directly
not.
sane. But
It's
I don't know if
hard.
you got it, but that was definitely just me playing off the sane
Oh,
concept.
oh no, I got you. Yeah, a little Gohan action. I mean, Uryu. This is technically like light spoilers, but Uryu is half Quincy, so I don't
Damn,
know.
are you out here claiming you're a Quincy? You're only half of the front door.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Okay, let's see. So
And
Ichigo's
then
Ichigo takes some mysterious drugs that the stranger who wears a weird hat that covers his face, gave him.
sunglasses. That's what I can offer to our viewers too. Nope, not even gonna joke about it. I was gonna say take drugs from strangers.
Yeah, don't do that. A bunch of characters from the high school who kind of don't matter show back up, but also Chad shows
Chad
back up.
matters.
Thank God.
Anyway, boy, you skimmed over. Kakashi has a cool hat. Was like we need to do a training arc. 10 days.
Yeah, he says like, Ichigo, training arc time. Take these drugs and then get ready for your training arc.
And they're at school, and you get back kind of like to where Bleach is earlier on, where it's like a balance between like school life and the supernatural, which I think is a super cool read. But then Ichigo smacks a dude in the forehead, thinking it's a watermelon, and they just have like they tease it like, oh, what if we just had a beach arc? What if, what? And everyone just turns him down. I don't even remember this dude's name.
I'll be real, I hate this guy.
I just don't remember his name.
I mean, it says here his name's Kago, but I don't care.
I could not care. Everyone
Although
just turns him down.
I do like that he's wearing a little sash in this scene that says "Number One Beach Boy." That's pretty good. Never mind. Kago has
Should we get
endeared
matching
himself
number
to
one
me.
Beach Boy tat?
Connor, we can't both be the number one beach
Well, you
boy.
can be number two.
You can. I was the one who pointed out the sash, so
Yeah, but I asked if we could get them.
well, we'll see. Whoever gets the sash first, like wins. It's like I think it's like Xiaolin Showdown rules. We should get one and then like have to fight for it.
I like it. I like it, Picasso. Anyway, then Ichigo is like leaving school.
There's an
All he has to
Inazuma
do is
11
train.
reference. I don't know if they kept that in the Viz release.
Why
Like this,
11? Are you
yeah,
starting a new soccer team? You're like a movie star.
yeah, yeah. The best 11. It's a reference to just something manga soccer.
Alright, hold on. Now that we're deep enough into this video and I won't get caught by the Japanese police, I think the recent increase in Japanese soccer manga and anime is to instill the idea and concept of a desire for soccer in the youth to literally do Blue Lock and to form a great team. That's my theory.
Didn't Japan do like better than usual in this World Cup?
They got knocked around to 16, the same as last time.
Dude, that's like
But I
same
mean,
as us.
they beat some decent teams.
That was pretty cool.
Anyway,
I mean,
then
Mbappe's gonna be
Forest
playing
like,
for
where's
like the.
Rukia?
Oh,
So,
I was
if you
gonna
don't know
talk more about the
other
World
people-
Cup.
Oh, well, we can get back. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say Mbappe is only like our age, so he's gonna be playing for the next like 15 years. So they
Oh,
can like
probably
take
more
their
than that.
time getting their team together.
Yeah, Mbappe. I mean, yeah. That French team's gonna be real good for a long time.
Yeah.
So does other people not remember Rukia? Or he may really the only person that noticed Rukia is gone.
So it's likely some like soul society magic that erased everyone's memories, but it seems like people with high spiritual pressure um, are able to overcome that. And since like Orihime had that interaction with her brother as a hollow, and same with Chad, I think both of them were able to remember her.
Interesting. Chad's the best character. And Orihime is like, go save her. And then my favorite panel is when she pretends to be Ichigo and she like you'll throw out your lower lip like this, clench your jaw, cross your arms, throw your head back, and tell her, "Alive, there's a chance you can see your family again someday, but you can't if you're dead."
That is
I thought
really
that was
good.
based.
It's like it's funny, and it also just like shows how much like, because it does. I don't think they're supposed to really be like close friends before this, so it shows more like how much Orihime's been like watching Ichigo from a distance, you know.
Yeah.
And that's neat. That's good. That's good character building. And
Anyway,
then
then they just go on to the training. He goes like to visit Kakashi in a hat.
okay,
Um,
let's put some respect on Kisuke Urahara's name.
I just forget his name. If I'm being honest.
It's fun to. It's got a good like sound. It's got a good rhythm to it. Yeah. We get. I think we can kind of skim through 59 because like we get some of Rukia in jail in the Soul Society. So actually, this is kind of important because it's our first look at the Soul Society, which it just kind of looks like like old Japanese temple buildings.
Yeah, well, I think the best. I mean, a lot of it's conversation about what's going on there, and then like conversation with Renji and Rukia. But I think the best one is the page. I have it marked as page 8 and 9, where it's Renji saying he's your older brother. He won't stand by and let you be killed. And then Rukia retorts with like, "You're right. He'll kill him. He'll kill me himself. I know very well the kind of person he is. In the 40 years since the Kikuchi family took me in, shit, I clicked and I skipped so many pages.
It's not gonna be the same as the
Not once
Viz.
has he even looked at me. So it kind of shows like Rukia's family dynamic that like A, she's adopted basically, and B, like she don't have good relationship with her adoptive siblings.
Yeah, well, and the fact that like this guy who just like killed one of her best friends in her eyes basically is her brother. Like he came, arrested her, like mangled two of her only friends, and then put her in jail to possibly die. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, and then we cut back to Ichigo as like a stark contrast of like serious talk in a jail cell to honestly one of my favorite lines of this entire thing. Like they show that there's just this giant hole in the shop, right? And then he's like, we made this overnight, right? And then he goes, for real? Is it your policy to ignore customers just to advance the story? Which is such a great fourth wall break.
It's so good. Kisuke's up here like Mr. Beast. Like we built an entire underground training building.
Overnight. And then Kisuke takes another line off. It was no means to feat. It was no mean feat to build this under a city. That just isn't proper grammar. But the fun bit that I loved is probably illegal and a direct violation of multiple building ordinances.
God, that's good.
Which is so great. And then like they cut in and they like the training arc is so like less serious than you'd expect. It's like
Yeah,
he's
well,
just mushroom
it
head.
seems like where the not to skip ahead, but where this volume ends is kind of when shit gets real for this training arc.
Yeah, like the first part's like you have to
Yeah,
knock
but
out this
but
little girl and
it's interesting because we learn like super early into this training that in like the attacks by in like Byakuya's last like attack to Ichigo, it destroyed like it severed him from his Soul Reaper powers that Rukia gave him. Because remember, this whole time he's been a substitute Soul Reaper. He was using like borrowed power, and now he no longer is a Soul Reaper. like he doesn't have Rukia's powers. He doesn't have a sword or anything, and so he has to like become a Soul Reaper through his own means.
Yeah, he needs to make the power his own, which is it feels like I'm quoting that from another anime. But I like the little headgear he puts on in 60. God, put on the headgear, Ichigo. Put on the headgear and yell.
Oh my god, I could read a whole spin-off manga just about Kisuke's squad because you got Kisuke, you got I think it's Issei or no Tessai, like the weird mustachioed man who like
Okay.
runs the shop, and then you've got just these two weird little kids.
With the cornrows.
Yeah, and she's like wearing this weird like mushroom outfit for this fight, but is still like almost murdering Ichigo.
But yeah, and then that progresses as I mean they're talking and they're talking about how he needs to increase his power through this what this training is doing, right? And Ichigo he's kind of messed it,
But he lands a hit.
and then Chris is like the lesson was about one thing, whether or not you could survive the first blow, right? So it's like this wasn't about like building everything, it's just seeing. I guess I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get the layers. I don't get the idea.
It also just like we're like indirectly learning a lot about Kisuke here because like why does this man have two apparently children who are quote good enough to take on Shinigamis? Like that's not normal. So like
No,
there's
not at
a
all.
there's a lot of mystery to like everything involving Kisuke.
Yeah,
And then
and
I
then
think this is the last we see of Ichigo in this volume is when Tessai cuts his.
chain, and no, we see more in the next chapter. But at the end of 60, you see Chad and Orihime, and they're talking to the cat, and
Yeah,
they're also going to get training to go to the Soul Society.
yeah, which I had to check because I didn't remember if we've met Yoriichi by this point. We have.
We had brief. I don't think like.
Yeah, not a lot. Kisuke talked to him a couple times.
Wait, did this? Yeah, and then so volume chapter 61. We don't see it. No, I was right. So 61, you see Uryu, Orihime,
Orihime,
Chad,
Chad,
and
and the
cat?
cat.
I'm just
I'm just gonna call him the cat.
His
They're
name is
basically-
Mr. Yoriichi.
They're basically starting their training, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then so they're switching back, and then it flips back to Ichigo. And it's like, we're basically going to make you a soul eater. Like, we're going to, like, make
It's
you a functional soul reaper again.
it's hardcore training. It's like you are either going to become a soul reaper or you are going to die.
And at the end, yeah, and then it, like, they bind his arms and they do acupuncture to, like, so they don't work.
Yeah,
And
so
then,
and that's another interesting mystery about Kisuke and his people. Tessai's using in my translation at least it's Bakudo 99, and that's a Soul Reaper.
just binding spell 99.
Gotcha. Well, those like binding spells, that's like Soul Reaper tech or like Soul Reaper techniques. So like the fact that this weird shopkeeper can use it is
With the great mustache and the corners, of course.
yeah, is just like more complication. And then the broken chain on Ichigo starts like growing mouths and eating itself. So
And then it just stops.
yep.
And then we got a code extra that I just didn't read. But that
Oh.
doesn't seem important for where we're at today.
Yeah, that's
But
not
that
my
was-
scan.
I'm busy. I will. Yeah, and that is all of chapter
Volume 7.
volume 7.
Oh my! So what are your thoughts? This is like the third time reading this. I think this is your first. How are you feeling about this
I liked
volume?
it. It makes me want to read volume 8. And the fact that this volume came out like 20 years ago is kind of crazy. It's 20 years ago, a week ago. That's
Jesus.
wild. I liked it. It was sick. I mean, definitely got more serious. I know you, like, I see what you're saying now. When we originally were reading, it was like once we get to here is when it starts to pick up.
Yeah, it's like
You get
now. If Ichigo, like, Kisuke knows if Ichigo is going to survive going to the Soul Society, he's going to need to be like way stronger than he is now. So he's breaking out the big guns. He's having his little goblins fight him. He's severing his soul chain, and like you said, it's cool that like the whole squad's getting stronger. Like Chad and Orihime are training with Mr. Yoruichi. And then Uryu seems to be doing his own training that we don't really see much of, but he says he's training with a master or something along those lines.
Yeah, which is interesting.
So like, yeah, we're very much in the build-up. So yeah, I mean, I love this part of Bleach. I think Bleach is sick, and I hope we continue.
We definitely will. I mean, we want to take another 8-month hiatus. I can guarantee that. Probably.
Can you guarantee that? Can you guarantee that?
I guarantee it.
Okay. You heard him, the pig. If we don't post again in 8 months, Connor
I'll dox
share the
myself so you
channel.
can-
Oh, okay.
So you can take actions into your own hands.
I'll hold him to it. I promise.
All right, thank you for anyone who stuck around this part of the video. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Look forward to
any-
more Bleach, more AMVs. Lucas has been in love with making those recently.
That's my new thing.
Maybe if you're lucky, if you're lucky, as if I said, we don't have to do a half of our job. Bleach, we talked about doing One Piece arc reviews forever, so we might get on that. And
That's
maybe
possible.
gameplay stuff.
Could do
Just
more
like us
Chainsaw Man.
recording.
Could do more Spy Family.
Oh my gosh. I'd love to do all of Chainsaw Man Part 2. Catching up with that would be so great.
Oh my god, I love spoiler alert, Connor and I love Chainsaw Man Part 2. It's easily the best thing in, well, I guess technically not in Shonen Jump since it's on Jump Plus, but like easily the best thing being released by Shonen Jump right now.
Oh, without a doubt. But thanks for tuning in, and this is Connor signing off.
See you guys next week.
至福の時間例えるのならマジで炎上不意の逆進平和行使だ追試の知らせ地獄だ